There we go. Oh yeah. Nice fish. Very nice fish. Sometimes the first one you get in this situation might just be the biggest. Looks like a nice one. Doesn't look giant, but it's a heck of a smallmouth. Heck of a smallmouth, right where she should be. I took my time getting into the waypoint, and I like to kind of nibble at it so you don't go in too hot and blow the school out of there. Just a nice one. Not a jumbo. Sweet fish though. First Leech Lake Smallmouth of the year. I'm waiting all winter for this. Nice little smallmouth. Nothing huge. Good starter. Good starter fish. Get her back. Hopefully she's got some buddies with her. I don't know if that's a small female or a fat male or what, but I'm guessing male. Let's see if we can get their balls. Boat control is so hugely important. I'm learning that every year. The live scope I'm not using today yet, but a lot of times the main reason to use that is to see where the bigger boulders are at and to make sure that you're laying your casts alongside each side of the boulder, over the top. If you can't see them on live like that and actually aim, makes it a lot harder. Makes it a lot harder to put your cast where it needs to be to get bit. So good tool. I haven't pulled it out yet, but I don't like to sharpshoot fish with it. I know it's pretty popular, but mostly I'm looking at where the heck are the rocks, where's the structure that I need to be casting at, and how do I want to be laying my cast down. Yes, we are hooked up again. Water's a little cold. I'm surprised it kind of cooled down. Ooh, yeah, beautiful. The water cooled down overnight a little bit, a lot actually. Out here in the main part of the lake, we're in the basin. It's still pretty cool. Let this boat go by. Not that I could pull this fish up if I wanted to. It's really, I could see it's double hooked. It's pulling sideways like a halibut. Now it's trying to get me in the prop. Wow. Mean one. Mean one. I think I know the direction I need to lay my cast. It seems that's so huge with these fish. If you, you know, if you're casting 20 feet in the wrong direction, they might not pick up on it. Get the cast in the right place and bam. So if you think there's some fish on a structure, don't just give it some time. Lay some casts in at different angles, and that's a little better one. Working our way up in the world. That's a nice fish. Hooked on the peck, in the mouth, and then again on in the pectoral fin. So that was a bulldogging me. Something fierce. Yes, indeed. That's what we're after. That's a good one. Good way to start off the season. These beautiful Leech Lake tiger tunas. That's a good one. There it is, heavy, heavy, heavy. Oh, that feels so good after a long winter. Wow. Not a huge one. Not a huge one. I'm gonna just leave this one in the water and shake her off with the pliers, I think. If she'll let me. Oh. Calm down, calm down. Oh. Two hooks in the face. There she goes. Get her back quick. I'm gonna pick on one of her buddies. I haven't seen these fish on electronics or anything. I'm just, like I said, I'm nibbling into a waypoint where caught some fish before. So I don't know if they're holding on the bottom, if they're on the tops of the boulders, the edge of the boulders, or if they're out here in, you know, 10, 12 feet. Picking them up about mid-cast. If I did a little driving around, I could look at my electronics and probably tell that, but a couple more casts with the jerkbait. If I don't get a bite, then I might just scoot in a little bit. If I can pick up some boulders or something on my electronics. See how these fish are holding maybe. If they're on the bottom, then, or close, I might try throwing a tube. That'd be fun too. They seem to like to feed up. They'll come up for jerkbaits a lot of times, even in 10 or 12 feet of water. A shallow diving jerkbait will get them to come up. They just can't handle it. So that can be the deal. Otherwise, you can get a few more fish sometimes by working a swim bait or something down just a little deeper, or a tube on the bottom, or like a finesse jig, football jig, something like that on the bottom. It depends. Sometimes they want crayfish and sometimes they just want minnows. So this time of year could be either, I guess. The other nice thing about making them come up, and it's the same goes for walleyes or anything else. If you make them come up, they're less likely to spook out, I think. They, you know, if you're dragging it through a school, a jig, or a Ned rig even, or a tube, they're more likely to kind of examine the bait, which finesse baits, that's probably okay. But if you're using heavier line, they might see your line, etc. Where I think if you can get them to come up, you can pick them off one at a time, and if anything, the school just gets more excited. You're not spooking them out, you're not blowing out the school typically. A couple more with this pink X-Wrap, and I might make a few casts with a tube or a Ned rig or something, just to see, swim bait maybe. And then when I've exhausted, when I'm sure that there's no more bites to be had, then I'll move the boat. But I'm not even moving the boat until I try a couple different things here. It could be I'm missing them by 50 feet or 100 feet, but I'd rather be methodical than blow out the school this time of year. Once the school busts you and they don't want to eat anymore, and then you're going to the next spot. If you can nibble at it, be smart about it, pick a few off with the jerkbait, and then work your way down in the water column. The most aggressive ones will hit the moving baits, the crankbaits, the jerkbaits. Then I would go to a swim bait. Green pumpkin tube should work, right? If there's fish here, they should work. Pretty much just gravel here. I'm not feeling boulders yet, so I'm just gonna slide the boat in another 25 feet here. There we go. And that's a fun bite. Oh yeah. Okay, so I think I kind of bomb casted that one and it hit right at the end of the cast, so it's pretty safe to say I can move the boat in just a little bit. Oh man, that was fun. On the tube, this is I believe it's a 3-inch big bite baits. Salt tube, something like that. Green pumpkin with a little orange on it. Water's not super clean. We had kind of a bit of a breeze yesterday on walleye opener. It was yesterday. Wind was blowing pretty good, so didn't come out here on the main lake. Messed around, caught some shallow water walleyes and caught some largemouth. There, okay, that's a good example. He's got the tube in his face. They like to try to pin it to the bottom. I've talked about that before on my other videos where the tube's on the bottom and they try to pin it to the bottom with their face. They're actually trying to stun it, kill it, right? I'm gonna take good care of this one. All right, just a quick look. Another beauty. That one was on a tube, just bombed it out there, and she immediately just pinned it to the bottom when it hit the water, so that was really cool. Early smallmouth. Water's still in the 40s. A little warmer up in the bays, and even some of the walleye flats are mid 50s, but out here still in the 40s. Fish are staging. Haven't moved up yet. When they get up there and spawn, we'll leave them alone, but right now it's fun to pick a few off each reef and have a good time. So this is fun. Get that tube out there, try it again. Picked a couple off with the jerkbait right away, but before I really moved the boat, I wanted to try a different presentation. So that was the first cast with the tube, and second cast with the tube. We're hooked up. I think they like the tube. I think they're like, it's the tube, the bait is important, but the placement of the bait is huge, and we've learned that repeatedly by using live imaging. I'm not using live imaging today, but we've learned a lot from it, right? We've learned that placing your cast 30 feet one way or the other in the wrong direction, woo, this is a good one. And you don't get bit. You get the proper placement. Just so happens I know this spot. It's an inside turn. There's boulders up on top, and the fish are kind of staging. They're gonna move up on a big shallow flat here before too long, but right now they're kind of bunched up out in here in about 10 feet of water, which is kind of what I was hoping for. It's one of the most fun bites of the year when they're out here. I can't even see the tube in this fish's mouth. It just absolutely brunched it. Oh, absolutely brunched that tube. That's a heavy one. Look at that. Oh boy. Oh, it came right out. Give you a look-see like that. Look at that tiger tuna. What a beaut. What a beauty. Just another 19 and a half. Lots of those in the lake right now. I know there's some bigger ones. Hopefully we'll get on some bigger ones, but you can't complain about that size fish. There's Lots of them out here. All right, 2 casts with the tube and 2 nice smallmouth. So much fun. Okay, cast number 3 with the tube. We're 2 for 2. 2 casts, 2 beautiful smallmouth. Cast number 3, we're hooked up. It feels heavy. Oh, came off. Came off. Changed my rod angle because I was trying to keep her from jumping. Wasn't hooked all that well, apparently. Okay, well, try it again. That's so much fun when it just goes heavy. Oh, missed one. My goodness. A little tougher way out there on the cast. I think I got to try to hit him a little harder. Try to hit him a little harder. I might move just a hair closer. Get a little better hookup when I'm not on the end of a bomb cast in 10 feet of water. Just kind of pop, 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 let it settle. Right there, right there, yes. I don't know if there's fish right here, if that fish followed it all the way out, but look at that. Technically, technically, well, we're not 3 for 3. We're 3 for 4, but you got bites on every cast. That first one, the one I dropped, I really didn't set the hook hard enough. I thought I could just pull it tight. This one's not hooked all that well. Again, I think they try to smack them, pin them to the bottom, and they don't always get hooked in. Yeah, he's hooked in the mouth anyway. She, more than likely, is hooked in the mouth. Oh yes. No net man today, obviously. That's a heavy fish. Wow. How cool is that? I'm gonna be quick. Be quick and get her back. Jeepers. All right, there she is. Another one on the tube. Beautiful fish, eh? Beautiful fish. Let's get her back. Take care of these things. Wow, look at the belly on that one. Just a tummy. That was fun. All right, what are we? 3 for 4 now with casts on the tube. I did drop one, but I think I had 2 on in that same cast, so it's good fishing. Wish you were here. Cast number 5 with the tube. Pretty classic though. You want to use, I always like to use moving baits to find that first one. There's one. Oh yeah. super heavy, super heavy. Use moving baits to find them. Crankbait, jerkbait, maybe a plus size swim bait, something like that. Then get finessey, slow down and get finessey. I don't understand when you see people out there like searching for smallmouth with a tube or a Ned rig or a drop shot. It makes no sense to me. You're fishing so slow. Find the first one and then throw whatever you want at them. I mean, unless you've got them absolutely dialed on your locator and seen them on your locator. But you can also, if you don't have fancy electronics, just use a moving bait. Hard to beat a jerk bait, really, for just finding that first one this time of year. Wow, beast. Beast, beast. Just another butte. Just another butte. Holy cow, that one might be bigger yet. Buried the tube in its mouth. Rock solid when I set the hook. It was just slow. Big head shakes. Almost like a freaking giant walleye on the end of the line when I set the hook on that one. Holy crap. Woo, how's that? Beauty, beauty. Get her back. They're taking right off. I hold them probably longer than I need to. Wow, so fun. Check your line. All right, cast number 6. Still looking for the true giant. I'm not complaining. Don't complain about 18 to 20 inch smallmouths on every cast, right? Don't even do it. I guess we had a couple of all right, I had to do a battery switch around, so I reeled in quick. So I get a redo on cast number 5. Reeled it in quick, so I didn't catch one without the camera rolling. Drop a waypoint because I haven't done that yet. Pretty nice day. I think no doubt they might go for a little shallow cruise at some point today too, but probably feels pretty good on their dark bodies. Warm up from the sun. Haven't had that for a few days. There's one. All right, we are hooked up. Big head shakes, now it's running at me. All right, came off. Came off. They don't stay pinned quite like the trebles. I've lost a few, so I don't know. Try it again. Suppose I could try that swim bait too, make them come up for it. The tube's working so well, just losing a few. Felt that one hit it, so I knew it was in his mouth. You feel a thump on a slack line like that. Definitely let them have it. When they hit it, when you're tight, then I'm more likely to just kind of reel into the fish and give the line a little tug. But when you feel a thump, they probably have it. They might have it in their mouth. So give them a good hook set. It's not the biggest fish in the world, so leave her in the water as long as possible and just pop the tube out quick. Oh, she's hooked well though. Nice male maybe. Off he goes. All right. Cast number 6. Okay, maybe 7. I'm calling it 6 because when you only reel it in a third of the way and then you reel it in fast, that doesn't count, right? That one didn't count. Cast number 6 gonna be a dud. Cast number 6, a dud? Wow. Must not have put it in the right place. Cast number 7. Of course, I'm not counting the, this is cast number 7 with the tube. We made a bunch of casts with the jerkbait. And I might go back to that before I leave again. Just in case there's one that, there's one. Well, you can't catch a fish on every cast, right? This one's freaking out. Absolutely freaking out. Not real big. Quick release. Quick releaser. Get her back. Tube's seen its better day. Holy smokes. I'm gonna try one more cast with it. The head's busting out. Alright. As long as I have it tied on, I'm gonna try this little Jackall squad minnow. It's a little shorter, stockier, a little shorter, fatter jerkbait. It's got some high-pitched rattles in it. It's a 2-hook bait, which I actually like for smallmouth if I can get away with it. The smaller 2-hook baits are nice. They don't get such a face full of trebles, right? Or you can actually, a lot of times you can just take the front hook off of a 3-hook bait. But so I like that number 10X wrap for that reason too. You just have the 2 hooks in the fish. The third one doesn't seem to do anything besides get them in the wrong place. Too close to the gills and eyes for me sometimes. But if they don't want to eat this, we may try a Vision 110 next. Thinking like a ghosty color Vision 110 might be pretty good today. Water's, like I said, the water's got a little color to it, but Still pretty clear. I think this is like a sexy shad color. It's got mostly white, but then it's got that little bit of a blue back, and then it's got a chartreuse or yellow. There's one stripe on it. All white's good too, but it's okay to break up the all white. Beauty. Beauty. Yes. Yes, indeed. Just the back hook in her now. I like that. Maybe I can get a quicker release. Oh, I spoke too soon. Oh, there we go. And that's actually a pretty nice fish, but don't need to hold them all up for you. See if the backlash. What's that? Never heard of it. I do have a bad spot. There we go. Get past it. Get excited. That's when you backlash, when you get excited. I'm excited. There we go. Learn how to cast again. They don't seem, even though the water's in the 40s, they don't seem to need long pauses or any special little, oh, wow, did that get hammered? I don't know. The tube's fun, but the strikes on the jerkbait are just crazy. And I think, whoa, that fish got, did you see that fish jump? That might be the one I just stung. I think I stung its face a little bit, and then it went for a leap. Bummer, that was a nice fish too. Very nice fish. See if I captured that. Maybe we can play it in slow-mo or something. I'm not real techie, but wow. That one was mad at it. I think the swim bait could be really good, but I probably would want to go quite a bit heavier. Getting a little bow slap from these waves and stuff, so it's all the more reason to stay off of them a little bit and make a long cast, right? Like I say, I like to nibble on these spots. Just kind of work your way in really slowly instead of being too aggressive. So many more spots that I want to hit, but there's a lot of fish piled up right here. Wow, great strike, close to the boat. Good fish, good fish. Got some boats clearing out, so I might be a little more likely to show off a fish or two here again. This guy's giving me the stink eye here for a while. There he goes. Just a nice one. Quick look at that one, get her back. Wet. I don't mind. Change the tube out. Other one was looking awfully rough. It's going to tell you what the color was, but this bag doesn't say. I think it's a tour tube. I think it's a big bite baits tour tube. Lots of tubes out there, but I really like this one because the fish like it. Sometimes we go down to the smaller 2.5 tube, this old ugly color, the 2.5 tube. I just feel like you put that in front of a smallmouth, they can't not eat it. I like the bigger one when they'll eat it. It gets their attention a little bit better, but that little one is like a sure thing. I like the way this casts, this 1/4 ounce head. Could use an 1/8. I like a 1/4. Especially on big water with wind. Sometimes the 1/8 is better because it falls really slow. The water's really clear. They see that tube just kind of spiraling down from a long ways away, and that little slower drop. There we go. Oh yes, the tube bite. Tube bite is on. The jerkbait bite's on. The tube bite's on. Is there any reason to try anything else? No. Throw the jerkbait, throw the tube. Beautiful. Beautiful. Fatty, fatty. So nice. That's so nice. Meat curtains. Beauty. Let's get her back. Look at that thing. Yes. A tube bite is so much fun. A lot of fish here. Pop, pop. I get asked a lot, we got so many crayfish in the lake and the big rusties, the big rusty crayfish, which are invasive. You ever use those for bait? Well, I have. I'm not a big live bait guy, as a lot of you know. I'd rather catch them on artificials. I just feel like it's more sporting. However, I actually think artificials work better because you can cover more water like this, and they eat them. So if you take the pinchers, if you take one pincher off of a crayfish, you'll get twice as many bites. If you take both pinchers off, you'll get about 5 times as many bites with no pinchers. It's just unbelievable, the little bit of experimenting that I've done. And by the time you take both pinchers off a crayfish, it looks a lot like a tube. All of a sudden that profile is the one that they prefer, just a little bit slimmer without the aggressive pinchers is actually better. So a tube looks like a crayfish without its weapons, which I think actually will catch more fish than an actual live crayfish. I'm sure at times live crayfish would be great, but like I said, if I can't catch them on artificials, I don't know. I'm not that mad at them. They obviously crush tubes. I don't know if this orange, I like the green pumpkin. This has got a little bit of that orange in it. I don't know if it's really necessary, but it makes me feel like I'm imitating a crayfish, so they don't hate it. Catching a smallmouth on probably at least 3/4 of our casts here today on the tube. The jerkbait was more like 25% of the casts. The tube is like 3/4, but we are a little more dialed in location wise. And they do get a little wise to the jerkbait after a while, although they forget. So I don't mind mixing in a jerkbait every so often, picking off another one on the jerkbait. And I think the jerkbait is, not only is it a search bait where you can locate the school and then throw whatever you want in there, but it also, if you got a school of hunting smallmouth and they're not married to a bed or anything yet, you can actually draw them in to you with a jerkbait. They'll come to the jerkbait. The whole school might come to the jerkbait, so like a herd of cats. It's a good analogy, actually. It's like a herd of cats, and you got the yarn, right? You're trying to lure in a herd of cats with a piece of yarn. That's what we're doing here. Make sure that hook's exposed. Got a feeling this cast is going to get cracked. Yes. Man, that set felt heavy. I thought it was in the rocks for a minute until it did something. Until it did something. Medium heavy 7'2" rod. Medium light. Whoa, that's a good one. Medium light 7'2" rod. This is a TFO Tactical Elite. 7'1" medium light. That's what we're dealing with. Works great. Wow, what a beast. What a fish. Just incredible. The boat's coming. Not necessarily like that. This is a little better fish, maybe. that beauty, huh? Just a hair under 20 inches again. Get her back. The size of them. That's a tall one there. She's off. So much fun. We're taking good care of them, getting them back quickly. They like the tube today. I'm running 10-pound Sufix 832 braid. I like this lime green color. I can see where it's at, or see where everyone's lines are at. And then I adjust the leader length depending on how stealthy we want to be. I typically run 10-pound. A 10-pound leader that's about 5 or 6 feet long. Pretty simple. I guess I was throwing a bait caster for a while that's got 20 or 30 pound, and then the same, probably a 12-foot leader. With the jerkbait, sorry, 12-pound leader. With the jerkbait, I like a little heavier leader. I don't think they're super leader shy when they get honed in on those jerkbaits. Also, it's stiffer. I like it stiffer so it doesn't foul as much. A 12-pound stiff fluorocarbon leader material, not fluorocarbon lime, but fluorocarbon leader material, super stiff. Wants to stay straight, and the hooks won't foul on it nearly as much as if you're running light line or soft mono, or even like a 10-pound fluorocarbon line. Big difference if you go to that 12-pound leader material, stiffer stuff. Not that you need fluorocarbon all the time. Mono works great. In fact, for largemouth, I use a lot of just trilene big game, super cheap. Works great, especially when we're in cover. I'm not worried about the difference. The stretch is actually kind of nice too when you're running braid to leader. I run braid to leader on just about everything. So I cast it at a different angle there. Go one way, go the other way. I end up putting it right back in the middle and getting bit typically, so. I'm a little bit anal about making sure that the little tentacles aren't wrapped around the hook. I like to make sure the hook's laying in between them nice and clean. I don't know if it matters, but it was kind of jacked up on that retrieve and no bite, so. So far, I think just a pop, letting it settle back down. Tried some more aggressive stuff. I tried crawling it slower, but this is kind of my standard tube retrieve. If I don't get one on this cast, I'll probably go back to the jerkbait for a couple of casts. There's one. Had to lay it in a little bit different place. Ooh, good one. They're all good. Let's see if I can go all the way around the boat, because I've got a boat watching me. I think mostly people are looking for walleyes, but bright sunny day, they're looking for the bent rod pattern. So Landed on the other side of the boat here. Wow, did it absolutely engulf the tube. Beautiful fish. We'll get her back.